Welcome to Oyate Today. Oyate in Lakota means people. Brought to you by Native Sun News Today. Hi, welcome to Oyate Today. I am your host, Richie Richards. Oyate Today is produced by Tim and Jackie Gallego. Tim is an enrolled member of the Oglala Sioux tribe. Our guest tonight is Daron and Nora White Eagle of Wombly Ska Drum and Dance Society here in Rapid City. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you for having us.
I'm very excited to have our discussion. So let's just jump right in. And for those of us who are not aware of Wombly Ska Drum and Dance Society, give us a little bit of history of how this began, how this Drum and Dance Society began here in Rapid City.
It all started back at Wombly, our Oyate church. We had church got a drum donated, so we started with some young guys, started singing, and after that, I would talk to Pastor Dave, and I said, Pastor Dave, we got a drum. We should get some kids dancing, and we discussed it, and everything started from there. He said, well, let's try it out.
So what year was this in then? How long has Wombly Ska been in Rapid City performing and getting together?
2006.
2006, wow. So we're about 12 years into this then. That's amazing. And so I understand that this started from a vision that you yourself had during a ceremony. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I went to ceremony and I went vision quest, and then my vision was to bring back our culture back to kids in Rapid City because we were losing it. Everywhere you went, there was always gangs, drinking, drugging, so North Rapid was a good place to start. So before I started with the other kids, I thought, we said culture back to my people. I said, whoa, I got my brother, my uncles, my grandkids, my kids all dancing, and it just didn't seem like enough. So I went back, talked to my spiritual leader, and I said, something's not right. I did everything that was said. And he said, no, all the people. So then I started working with kids, handicapped, didn't matter, as long as they wanted to learn to dance, wanted to learn our culture. So that's how that started.
Oh, that's awesome. And so I understand there were some very humble beginnings at the start of Wombly Ska when you first got together down in Oyate Church. And Nora, could you tell me a little bit about who was there and who, I guess, initially started to help with teaching the drum, teaching the songs, teaching the dancing? Could you give us a little information about who was, involved in those early days?
Well, we did have several elders, but the main one that was really hanging around helping us was John Oldhorse. He did a lot of teaching the boys how to do like the veteran songs, the flag song, just the very basic kinds of songs that they have. And then for the dancing, we also had a couple of the younger girls that were jingle dress dancers that they kind of showed the girls what to do. Some of them were just kind of taking pieces of material, using them for shawls, that kind of stuff, And as we kind of built up, we had different people kind of donate like materials and stuff to us that kind of helped us kind of build a little bit more for the kids. We kind of just started out with just bells for the boys, stuff like that. But as it grew and it caught on, the more people that wanted to dance are the ones that were, like the powwow people that are actually, they kind of brought in a little bit more people for us, and then it just kind of slowly started growing. We kind of grew out of Oyate, then went to Oyate Center for a little bit, grew out of there.
That's in Lakota Homes.
Yeah,
here
that's
in
in
Rapid
Lakota
City.
Homes,
Yeah.
I apologize. And then we went to Mother Butler for a while. And then after that, we just kind of, not necessarily outgrew it, but then the powwow part of it was the main part that we outgrew Mother Butler. Mm-hmm. And then from right now, we're just working our weekly dance. We call it dance practice. Everybody else calls it mini powwows.
Sure.
But they come out of the Club for Boys, the old thrift store. That's where we're having them on a weekly session nowadays. And then our our watchipi or the powwow actually went from the Mother Butler to the Civic Center at the Rushmore Hall now, where we're presently holding that now.
Sure. And so on what days do you get together at the boys Club for Boys there in the old thrift center? Would that be the east side of the building there? Is that where that's held at?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on the east side facing Journey.
And so how many kids and families and dancers, drummers, singers get together on these weekly dance practices?
Well, we usually have about 4 or 5 drums, and we got about 40 families that are dedicated. They're there every week, and there's others that come. We got 2 new dancers going to start next week. So,
I understand that Wombly Ska is a nonprofit. When did you get your nonprofit status, and how has that helped to change the kind of what goes on with Wombly Ska as far as being able to do certain things for family members and dancers and things like that?
We got our 501 number like about maybe 4 years ago, and then we kind of use it to kind of help us, get donations from from a lot of the country. The ones that kind of help us through the performances and stuff. They kind of tell each other that you can ask for us quite a bit. We try not to get too, however you say, booked up. We try to kind of get everybody so we can cover everybody, and a lot of the performances sometimes will be kind of on the reservation or out of kind of out there, and then we try not to get them too booked up, so we have to rush from here to there, that kind of a deal. So that's kind of
Sure.
like the main thing we're kind of working on right now. But
In the 12 years, nearly 12 years that you've been doing this in Rapid City, I'm sure there's, a young man, young girl, young boy, young lady who has that you've seen progress throughout the years, as far as going from a tiny tot or a young jingle dress dancer or a young fancy dancer and kind of maturing into maybe possibly a college student or onto, have their own family members. Is there anybody that kind of sticks out like that for you too, and somebody that you're kind of proud to have that role in their lives?
for me, it would be Sabrina Puglier. She kind of more or less kind of came to us, and she was kind of just kicking it out a little bit. She said she danced before a little bit, and then she kept coming on a weekly basis. She eventually came to be one of our Miss Wambliskas, and then from there she went to be the one Miss Hesapa. She came there, and she's going to college now, and she's working on her own family now.
Wow, that's
So
amazing.
it's kind of nice to watch her kind of grow up.
Sure, and you've been a part of that then?
Yeah,
Definitely.
she's really made us proud. I mean, she always drops our name all the time, so we're very glad to have her
That's
part
good.
of our family.
What about you, Daron? Is there anybody that sticks out for you that you've helped? I know there's probably dozens, but
Jesus.
just somebody that kind of...
Since probably Antoine West. He's been, I think he was about 3 or 4 years old, and he first started jumping around, and then he got a mentor. His mentor is Bill William, and everywhere Bill went, he always had Antoine behind him, and now Antoine, I think this summer he placed in a lot of places he went, because when he comes, I always say, give me 110%. Holy smokes. They go out and dance at powwows. They go out there, and it's kind of funny because sometimes when we go to these powwows, they're always going, the urban Indians are coming. But I think my kids get practice every week, so that's how they become pretty good. So.
You make a good point about the importance of mentorship, and you mentioned William Stewart, Bill, as we know him in town here, as being one of those mentors. What role does that mentorship play in Wombly Ska then? How important is it for these older dancers who may be ready to give back? How important is that in what you guys are doing with Wombly Ska then?
I think it's very important because when they come, they see these young kids. They don't know how to dance step. They start working with them, and next they got like a little brother, and it kind of makes them feel good because oh, these are my kids. And when they go watching them dance, they go, yep, I'm proud of you. And it just makes them feel 10 foot tall.
I bet, and passing on that pride. I understand that you have performed for different people, different leaders in our community, including governmental leaders. Could you talk a little bit about where you have performed in the past and some of those performances?
Well, we performed for a governor up in Custer State Park. We did another governor over in Chamberlain when they put that big dignity up. We went to Wyoming and danced days of 1910 or something. Mm-hmm. And other than that, we bent down. I think the mayor came once downtown. But other than that, we go to like a lot of schools. We've been to a lot of schools. We go to the retirement center because there's some Native people that are in there that they kind of got forgot. So we go over and we dance, they sing, and it brings them back memories, and they just sitting there just dancing away. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I bet they enjoy that. I bet they enjoy that. And that's part of your giving back with Wombly Ska then too as well. Not only with the teaching and mentorship and the dancing and drumming lessons, but also giving back to the community in general and sharing the gifts that you've been given with the general community. So I appreciate that a lot. We're going to take a break, Daron and Nora. When we get back, we're going to learn a little bit more about the New Year's watchipi, the Wombly Ska New Year's watchipi that's put on every year. And we're also going to learn a little bit I understand that for the last 3 years, you've been nominating a ohitika, a young brave, such as a powwow princess, to fill that role for the male dancers that you have within your drum and dance society. So we'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
Our school has great students and dedicated teachers, but we need our community volunteers to help us to provide a broader view of the many ways a good education can point to a bright future.
Did someone say volunteer? Our team at Black Hills is here to help. In fact, we sponsor events and projects, and our employees volunteer for organizations throughout the Black Hills, including partnering with schools to help students learn more about life outside the classroom. Extracurricular, extra fun.
We are not so different, you and I. We may be from different places, but the sun that greets me in the morning, the sun that warms the hills, is the same sun that greets you. We are all connected. We are all family. Mitakuye Oyase.
Native Sun News has been voted the best weekly newspaper in its class for 2015 by the South Dakota and North Dakota Newspaper Associations. You can find a copy of the Native Sun News at many businesses and vending machines in Rapid City and the surrounding area, and on all 9 reservations. We publish every Wednesday, so advertisers and subscribers can reach our diverse readership by calling 605-721-1266. The Native Sun News covers the other side of the story.
When discrimination happens in our community, and it does happen,
then it's time to stand up and speak out to make it stop.
Discrimination hurts and excludes.
We can be better than that.
People of Black Hills have a connection to each other, and none of us deserve discrimination.
The Rapid City Human Relations Commission can help with discrimination issues in housing, employment, and public accommodations.
And each of us, when we see it or hear it, can do our part to end discrimination.
You have a responsibility to stand up and speak out.
Hi, welcome back to Oyate Today. I am your host, Richie Richards. Our guest tonight, once again, is Daron White Eagle of Wombly Ska Drum and Dance Society and Carlos Benally, the 2018 Wombly Ska New Year's watchipi ohitika, Young Brave. So we're going to have a discussion with you too, sir. But I just wanted to kind of get a little bit more information, Daron, about the founding and the beginning of the importance of the New Year's watchipi that you have put on for the last several years. And actually, when did this start?
It started 7 years ago. We decided we had a dance club going, and we tried little powwows. They went all right. So we said, let's have a New Year's powwow. So we could teach our kids that you can enjoy yourself with prayer and without drugs or alcohol. So our first 2 years, it was kind of, well, is this what we want? And because there was only 50 dancers, now there's more like 200. So we're growing, and we want everybody to come and enjoy themselves without the drugs or alcohol. We have on New Year's Eve, we have Hiokas come out and take out the bad and bring in the good year, and everybody gets prayed with. So everybody really enjoys that, and it's just it was, like I said, start small, and now it's getting bigger. Hopefully we grow. We ain't competing against anybody else. We're just out there to have fun and bring the community together for a celebration.
Sure, and this sobriety powwow, you mentioned not wanting to be in competition with other groups or other areas, but the importance of that particular powwow here in Rapid City, it's like you said, it's growing, but the need is growing as well. The need for sobriety, for things to do, positive things to do in our community is very important, and you're filling that role. And so when you're talking about bringing in the new year in a prayerful way, in a good way, how is that important for the young dancers, young singers that are within the Wombly Ska Drum and Dance Society?
Well, our kids, they always say to come, and they like going out there, seeing all these people come. And when we bring out with prayer and everything, everybody, all their feelings, when you go out and get in that circle and the yokas come out and they start praying for you, you see a lot of feelings. Everybody lets out the bad feelings, and they get rejuvenated so they can start feeling this new year is going to be a good one. And our dancers see that and they say, wow, it is good to be sober and have a good time, instead of they see us taking out people that are drinking. We do that because when we teach the kids, when you got your eagle feathers and there's eagle feathers around, there's drums here, you keep all that outside and all the goodness inside.
Sure. And so for 2018, you're 12 years into this now, and so what goals would you like to kind of accomplish or achieve throughout this new year with the dance group? I know that you have the weekly dance get-togethers every week on Wednesdays at the Boys Club, as far as you also perform at Storybook Island. You have the New Year's Watchipi coming up once again that you have to plan for and get ready for. Aside from that, what goals do you have for this new year?
Well, we always go to Denver March Powwow with our princesses. What we want to do is we want to go out and do more performances for other places like colleges. We might be, Oyate is going to help us raise some money because we were invited to Denver, to the University of Denver. So that's in May 12th. It's a one-day powwow, so we're kind of excited about that, and hopefully we can get the money raised up to make that trip for everybody.
Sure. I appreciate the work you're doing, Daron, for our community. It's really amazing the work that Wombly Ska Drum and Dance Society has been doing. One of the things that you guys have chose to do is bring on Ohitika, a brave, to add to the powwow princesses, the junior miss and the Miss Wombly Ska. And so Carlos Benally is the 2018 Ohitika for this year. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine.
Good. I'm glad you're here tonight, and congratulations.
Thanks.
And so I wanted to ask you a couple questions about your role in this. As far as, first of all, how do you feel about representing Wombly Ska in 2018? And how long have you been dancing, by the way?
Well, I've been dancing for 4 years now, 4.5 years. And I feel positive about representing Wombly Ska because we're not only representing the dance group, but we're also representing our culture and our way of life.
Sure. And so where did you start dancing at then?
Well, I started dancing, first I started dancing grass when I was like a little tiny guy. in Bismarck, and then over time I started hearing about Daron's powwow, and once we moved to Rapid City, then we found out, and then we started working on our dancing, and he helped us with most of our outfits and also helped us learn the songs.
Sure. And so as far as being a role model, because that's what your new position is here in our area, how do you feel about being a positive role model, and how important is that for you in your life?
Well, to me, kind of a positive role model is to inspire and motivate other people to do great things and to help others. And for me, representing Wombly Ska, it's also representing, to a lot of other people, Wombly Ska represents a lot of things, but to me, Wombly Ska is representing that there's other things in life besides drugs, alcohol, gangs, etc. And me, John, and Nora helps achieve that.
Good job, sir. I appreciate it. Way to represent Wombly Ska and yourself very well. Very well said, sir. I congratulate you once again. We're going to take a break. When we get back, we're going to hear from the Miss Wombly Ska and Junior Miss Wombly Ska from the Wombly Ska Drum and Dance Society powwow held during New Year's weekend.
Youth and Family Services Prenatal to 5 Head Start program is enrolling now. This is a free preschool program for children ages 3 to 5 and a home visiting program for children prenatal to age 3. Both programs offer family support opportunities. If you are pregnant or have a child 5 years old or younger, call today to inquire about this free family program designed to enhance children's physical, social, emotional, and intellectual development. Give your child a head start with Head Start. Call today.
The aftermath from the recent hurricanes and tropical storms have devastated thousands of communities. You can help the millions of Americans who are affected by these storms. Show your support today. Go to our app or blackhillsfox.com/hurricane relief and make a donation today.
Hi, welcome back to Oyate Today. I'm your host, Richie Richards. Our guests, once again, are Miss Wombly Ska 2018, Gillian Eagle Chasing, and Junior Miss Wombly Ska 2018, Rylee Dillon. Thank you for being here, young ladies. When did you win your crown? When did you guys get crowned Junior Miss and Miss?
The day before New Year's, so on the 31st?
Sure.
30th. Oh, 30th.
On the 30th? Sure.
30th.
And so let me just start with you, Miss Eagle Chasing. How do you feel about representing Wombly Ska this year? And are you excited, first of all?
I'm very excited. It's a good opportunity, and I feel honored, and it's like excitement to be able to represent this title.
Sure. And so what is the process of becoming a Wombly Ska, well, in general, a princess? Because I will never be a princess in any powwow, but I would like to know, and I'd like our viewers to know, how do you become a princess, basically?
For them, or the powwow, we always go to events and be able to dance and do things like that, and do like Indian tacos and help with that. That's how we find out who and how we're going to represent the title.
So it's very important to be active in the community and with
our youth and stuff.
And so obviously you're a role model for our community, for other young ladies, other young men. And how important is it for you to be a role model, and how do you take that challenge on daily, and what are you doing to be a better role model for others?
It's important for me because I'm able to teach others in my youth and my peers that I can take on the experience of representing it. And
Do you have others that look up to you then?
yeah, I have like my cousins, my nieces, and nephews who always want to know how to dance and how to be able to, you know, get to where I am in life.
Sure, that's awesome. And as far as Rylee then, how important is it for you to be a positive role model for your community? And not only that, but the people that are within your circle?
For me, it's important for me to be a role model so I can actually be more involved in my culture and teach my other younger little tiny tots and stuff. Like they want to know how to dance, and I want them to do good things in life and win places and place at other powwows so they have more excitement for other ones.
Sure. And so when you say placing at other powwows, what is it the things that they need to do in order to place at other powwows to take, you know, first, second, or third place in their categories?
What they need to do is decide for what type of dance they want to do at the powwow, and then just start practicing like a week or so ahead, and just start thinking of ideas on dancing and just keep on practicing. And
Sure. And so for our non-native viewers who tune into our show every week and they're not kind of educated in the area, what does it look like for you two to practice? Do you just go in your rooms, or do you go to the Wombly Ska weekly practices? How does that work for you two?
We always go to our Wombly Ska practices. For me, I practice at home. I just look up some music on TV or YouTube and...
So right in the living room?
Yeah.
Is that the same for you too as well
no,
then?
I live on the 3rd floor of my apartment, so I can't.
So the neighbors downstairs probably wouldn't appreciate that too
Yeah.
much. That's awesome. Well, I congratulate both of you, and I'm very excited to have you representing our community as Power Princess, well, Miss Wombly Ska and Junior Miss Wombly Ska. So that's going to conclude our show. I want to thank our sponsors. I want to thank our producers. I want to thank Wombly Ska Drum and Dance Society, and I want to thank you for making Oyate today a part of your night. You've been watching Oyate Today, brought to you by Native Sun News Today.